Hello, my dear friends. Welcome to English in Fluency. My name is Alex, and this is the podcast where we explore the English language together, not through difficult grammar books, but through ideas that matter, stories that connect, and conversations that help us grow. I remember, not too long ago, feeling completely overwhelmed. It felt like my days were just disappearing. I would wake up with a long list of things I wanted to do: study, exercise, work on my personal projects, and by the end of the day, I would look back and wonder where all the hours had gone. I felt busy, I felt tired, but I didn't feel like I was moving forward. It was a frustrating feeling, a sense of being time poor in a world full of opportunities. It was this personal struggle that led me to explore the ideas we are going to talk about today. Ideas that truly changed my relationship with time. If you have ever felt that way, if you are here because you want to take your English listening skills to the next level, if you want to understand native speakers more easily and speak with more confidence, then you have found the perfect place. In every episode, my goal is to talk about interesting, thoughtful topics using clear and natural English. This way, you can practice your listening in a relaxed way, learn new vocabulary as we go, and perhaps even discover a new perspective on life. My promise to you isn't just that you'll improve your English, but that you might also find a new way of thinking that can make your life feel richer and more in your control. We are going to move from feeling time poor to feeling time rich. It's a journey we take together, one conversation at a time. Today, we are going to dive deep into a topic that touches every single one of us, every single day of our lives. It's something we all share equally, yet we all use so differently. We are going to talk about time. That's right, time. We are all given the same 24 hours when the sun rises each morning. It doesn't matter where you live, what you do, or how much money you have in the bank. You, me, and every other person on this planet receives the same gift of time. But here is the interesting question. How are we using this gift? The title of our conversation today is Time is Wealth. Treat your time like money. What does that really mean? Well, think about how we treat money. We are often very careful with it, aren't we? We think about how to earn it, how to save it, and how to spend it wisely so that it helps us build a better life. We worry when we waste it. But do we give our time the same level of respect? The same careful thought? In this Slow English podcast, we are going to explore this powerful idea together. We'll understand why thinking of time as a form of wealth can completely change how you live your life. We will look at how time might actually be far more precious, far more valuable than any money you could ever possess. Throughout our conversation, I will share simple explanations to make the ideas clear. I'll tell some relatable stories and examples to bring these concepts to life. And I'll offer some helpful, practical tips that you can start using immediately to become the master of your own time. We will discuss what the old saying, "Time is wealth," truly signifies in our modern world. We will also shine a light on the many sneaky ways we lose our time, often without even noticing that it's slipping away. And most importantly, I will walk you through some easy-to-follow steps to help you plan your time, to make your hours and minutes work for you, not against you. This isn't just an English lesson. This is a life lesson. By improving how you manage your time, you not only improve your ability to learn English, but you also improve your well-being, your success, and your happiness. So, are you ready to begin this journey? Are you prepared to look at the clock not as a source of pressure, but as a source of potential? Wonderful. Let's get comfortable. Take a deep breath and start this episode of English in Fluency as we uncover how your time can truly become your greatest wealth. Let's begin our journey by truly unpacking that beautiful and profound phrase. Time is wealth. What are we really saying when we put those two words together? When we hear the word wealth, our minds usually jump to images of money. Stacks of banknotes, overflowing bank accounts, maybe shiny gold bars, or expensive possessions like luxury cars and grand houses. Traditionally, wealth means having an abundance of valuable things. But in our discussion today, the most valuable thing we are talking about isn't something you can hold in your hand or lock in a vault. The wealth we are exploring is time itself. So, when we declare that time is wealth, we are making a powerful statement. We are saying that our time, the minutes, hours, and days of our lives, holds a value that is equal to, and perhaps even greater than, the value of money. Time is a resource. It is a precious commodity. And just like money, it needs to be managed with care. You can spend your time, you can waste your time, and you can even invest your time. The choices you make with your time determine the richness of your life. To make this idea clearer, let's continue with the comparison to money, because it's something we all understand very well. Imagine someone gives you $100. You have a choice. You could go out and spend it all immediately on things that are fun for a moment, but don't last, like expensive coffee or fast food. In a short while, the money is gone, and you don't have much to show for it. That's wasted money. On the other hand, you could use that same $100 with intention. You could buy healthy groceries that will feed you for a week. You could buy a book that teaches you a new skill. Or you could put that money into a savings account where it can grow and help you in the future. In this second scenario, you have spent your money wisely, and it has provided you with lasting value. Now, let's apply this exact same logic to our time. Every morning, you wake up with a fresh supply of hours. Let's say you have a free evening with 3 hours of your own time. You could spend those 3 hours mindlessly scrolling through social media feeds, flipping through television channels without really watching anything, or just sitting around feeling bored. At the end of the 3 hours, the time is gone forever, and what have you gained? Probably very little. It's like spending your $100 on things that don't matter. But what if you chose to use those same 3 hours differently? What if you spent 1 hour studying English, listening to a podcast like this one? What if you spent another hour going for a walk and getting some fresh air, taking care of your physical and mental health? And what if you spent the final hour having a meaningful conversation with a family member or a friend? At the end of those 3 hours, the time is still gone, but it has left something valuable behind. You've gained knowledge, you've improved your health, and you've strengthened a relationship. You have invested your time, and it has paid you back with real, lasting wealth. Another beautiful way to think about this is to imagine your life as a garden. When you are born, you are given a plot of land. This land is your life, and the time you have is the sunlight and the water you use to cultivate it. Every day, you have a choice. You can let the garden grow wild. Weeds which are the distractions and bad habits, will quickly take over. They will suck the nutrients from the soil, and soon your garden will be an overgrown, unproductive mess. Or you can choose to be a mindful gardener. You can decide what you want to grow. Maybe you want to grow a tree of knowledge, a bush of healthy habits, and flowers of strong relationships. To do this, you must invest your time. You must spend time planting the seeds. That's starting a new habit. You must spend time watering them every day. That's consistent practice. And very importantly, you must spend time pulling out the weeds. That's saying no to distractions. At first, your garden might not look very impressive. But if you tend to it with care day after day, it will eventually blossom into a beautiful, fruitful, and peaceful place. Your life will become a reflection of the time you've invested in cultivating it. A person who spends their time on learning and kindness will have a very different garden from someone who lets the weeds of procrastination and mindless entertainment take over. Let's consider a very practical example that many of us face. Let's think about a young student. We'll call her Sophia. Sophia wants to learn how to play the guitar. She has a guitar, but she feels she never has enough time to practice. After her classes, she often spends 2 hours every evening watching funny videos online. It's entertaining, and it helps her relax, but she always goes to bed feeling a little disappointed that she didn't practice her guitar. Now, let's imagine Sophia decides to make a small change. She decides to treat her time like wealth. Instead of watching videos for 2 hours, she decides to watch for just 1 hour, and she uses the other hour to practice her guitar. At first, it's difficult. Her fingers hurt, and the sounds she makes are not very good. After one day, she doesn't see much difference, but she continues. After a month of practicing for 1 hour every day, she can play a simple song. After 6 months, she can play several songs and even enjoys playing for her friends. Her 1 hour of daily time investment has created a new skill, a source of joy, and a new sense of confidence. She didn't create more time. She simply reallocated her wealth. She moved her time from a low-value activity to a high-value one. We can also think of our time like a very special kind of bank account. Imagine a magical bank that credits your account with 86,400 seconds every single morning. That's how many seconds are in 24 hours. You can spend these seconds however you wish throughout the day. But there are 2 very important rules. The first rule is that whatever you don't use by the end of the day is lost forever. You cannot save today's seconds for tomorrow. The balance resets to 0 every midnight. The second rule is that the bank can close your account at any time, without warning. We never know when our time will run out. When you think about it this way, doesn't it make you want to spend every single second wisely? You wouldn't just let that money vanish from a real bank account, would you? You would make sure to use it on things that are important to you. This is exactly what it means to treat your time as wealth. It means recognizing that every moment is a precious, non-refundable coin, and it's up to us to spend it in a way that enriches our lives. Some people often say, "Time is money," and that is true in a very direct way. For many people, they trade their hours for a salary. But the phrase, "time is wealth," is even deeper, even more beautiful. Because wealth is about so much more than just money. True wealth is having good health, strong relationships, peace of mind, knowledge, and happiness. And all of these things are built, they are cultivated, by investing our time wisely. So, the next time you look at a clock, don't just see numbers passing by. See your wealth. See your potential. See the raw material of your life, waiting for you to shape it into something wonderful. Now that we have established this powerful idea that time is a form of wealth, let's dig even deeper. Let's explore the fundamental reasons why time is considered so incredibly valuable. Why do wise people throughout history, from famous philosophers to modern successful entrepreneurs, all agree that time is our most precious resource? Why is it often said that time is even more important than money? Understanding this is the key to truly changing our relationship with the hours and minutes of our day. The first and most profound reason for time's immense value is its limited nature. Time is finite. This means we do not have an endless, infinite supply of it. We can't go to a store and buy more hours. We can't work harder to create an extra day in our week. Each of us is given a certain amount of time on this earth, a certain number of years, months, and days. We don't know the exact amount, which makes it even more precious. But we know for certain that the supply is limited. Once a moment is spent, it is gone forever. It vanishes into the past, never to be experienced again. This is what makes time fundamentally different from money. Think about it. If you lose $100, it feels bad, of course, but you have the potential to earn that money back. You can work overtime, you can start a small business, you can find a better paying job. There are countless ways to replenish your financial resources. Money comes and goes, but what if you waste an entire day doing nothing productive, nothing joyful, nothing meaningful? Can you ever get that day back? Number. You can't work harder tomorrow to earn back the lost 24 hours from yesterday. That day is a chapter in your life that has been written, and you can't go back to edit it. It is gone. This non-renewable quality of time gives it an extraordinary value. Let's use an analogy to understand this better. Imagine you are an artist, and you have been given one very special canvas and a set of paints. You are told that this is the only canvas you will ever have to create your masterpiece, the painting of your life. Would you be careless with your brush strokes? Would you spill paint randomly on it? Of course not. You would be incredibly thoughtful. You would plan your painting. You would make every single brush stroke count, because you know you cannot get another canvas. Our life is that canvas, and our time is the paint. Every hour is a brush stroke. Wasting time is like carelessly splashing paint, leaving empty or messy spots on the one and only masterpiece you will ever create. The second crucial reason time is so valuable is because it is irreplaceable. You cannot substitute it with anything else. If your car breaks down, you can get it repaired, or you can buy a new one. If you lose a favorite jacket, you can buy another one, but you cannot replace lost time. The wealthiest person in the world, with billions of dollars in the bank, cannot buy a single extra hour of life. They cannot purchase yesterday. They cannot pay to pause the present moment. This makes time the ultimate leveler, the great equalizer. This also introduces a critical concept: opportunity cost. This is an idea from economics, but it applies perfectly to life. The opportunity cost of any choice is the value of the next best alternative that you gave up. In simple terms, every time you say yes to one thing, you are automatically saying no to every other thing you could have been doing in that same moment. Let's imagine a young woman named Clara. It's Saturday morning, and she has the whole day free. She decides to spend 8 hours binge-watching a new television series. It's entertaining and relaxing. But what is the opportunity cost? What did she say no to? In those 8 hours, she could have taken a one-day workshop to learn a new skill for her job. She could have visited her grandmother, creating a precious memory. She could have gone for a long hike in nature, improving her physical and mental health. She could have read a book that might change her perspective on life. The TV show isn't necessarily bad, but the opportunity cost is huge. The life she could be building is the one she says no to with every low-value choice she makes. A single Saturday doesn't seem like much, but if she makes the same choice every weekend, over years she is giving up on a life of greater skill, deeper relationships, and better health. Understanding opportunity cost makes us realize that every minute is a choice, and every choice has a consequence. And this leads us to our third reason. Time is absolutely fair. It is the one resource in the world that is distributed with perfect equality. Every single person, regardless of their background, their nationality, their age, or their wealth, receives the exact same 24 hours each day. A newborn baby has the same number of hours in a day as an elderly person. A queen in a palace has the same 1,440 minutes as a farmer in a remote village. No one gets more. No one gets less. This is a truly mind-blowing concept if you pause to think about it. It's not money or intelligence or connections that separate people who achieve great things from those who don't. The primary difference is how they choose to use their universal daily allowance of time. This understanding can be incredibly empowering. It means you have the same fundamental resource as the most successful people you admire. They didn't have a 30-hour day to learn a skill or build a company. They had the same 24 hours as you. They just learned how to manage that wealth, that time, more effectively. Let's take the example of someone learning a language, like you are doing right now. Imagine two people, Liam and Chloe. Both want to become fluent in English. Both have busy lives with work and family. Both have the same 24 hours each day. Liam often says he's too tired or too busy to study. He spends his evenings watching TV, thinking, "I'll start learning tomorrow." Chloe, on the other hand, decides to invest just 30 minutes every single day. She listens to a podcast during her commute to work. She reviews vocabulary for 10 minutes during her lunch break. She reads one page of a book in English before she goes to sleep. To an outsider, 30 minutes seems like a very small amount of time. It doesn't look like much is happening. But let's look at the result. After a year, Liam is still at the same level, still waiting for the perfect time to start. But Chloe? Her small, consistent investment of 30 minutes a day has added up to over 180 hours of learning. Her vocabulary has grown, her listening has improved dramatically, and her confidence is soaring. She didn't have more time than Liam. She simply understood the value of her time and invested it, while Liam let his time just spend itself. Finally, time is so valuable because it is the very currency of life that shapes our identity. The person you are today, your skills, your knowledge, your beliefs, your health, your relationships, is the direct result of how you have spent all of your past hours. You are the sum of your invested time. If you have spent hundreds of hours practicing the piano, you are a pianist. If you have spent hundreds of hours reading about history, you are knowledgeable about history. If you have spent your time complaining and being negative, you have become a negative person. It's a simple but profound truth. This means that by choosing how you spend your time today, you are actively choosing the person you will become tomorrow. Do you want to be a kinder person? Spend more time practicing acts of kindness. Do you want to be a healthier person? Spend more time on exercise and healthy eating. Time is the chisel, and your life is the stone. Every hour, you are making a choice to either carve a beautiful statue or to just chip away at the stone randomly. When we understand these truths, that time is limited, irreplaceable, perfectly fair, and the very fabric of our identity, we can no longer see it as something to simply kill or pass. We must see it as the precious, vital force that it is. It is the soil in which we plant the seeds of our future. And in the next part of our conversation, we are going to look at the common ways we unknowingly poison that soil, the ways we waste our time. So, we now have a deep appreciation for why time is our most valuable form of wealth. It's limited, it's irreplaceable, and it's the one thing we all have in equal measure. This brings us to a very important and sometimes uncomfortable question. If our time is so precious, are we protecting it? Are we spending it wisely? Or are we letting it slip through our fingers like sand? The honest answer for most of us is that we waste time. We waste far more of it than we'd like to admit. And the most dangerous part is that we often do it without even being aware of it. Time wastage isn't always about sitting and doing absolutely nothing for hours. More often, it's a collection of small, seemingly harmless habits that quietly steal our minutes, which then add up to stolen hours and eventually stolen days of our lives. In this part of our talk, let's become detectives. Let's investigate these common time thieves and understand how they operate, so we can finally catch them in the act. Let's start with the biggest and most powerful time thief in the 21st century: the endless scroll of social media. It often begins so innocently. You pick up your phone to check a single notification, reply to one message, or watch just one short video that a friend sent you. You tell yourself, this will only take a minute. But then, the magic of the algorithm kicks in. It shows you another video, perfectly tailored to your interests. And then, another. And another. The colors are bright, the music is catchy, and the content is endlessly entertaining. Before you know it, you look up at the clock, and you are shocked to see that 30 minutes, an hour, or even more has vanished into thin air. Where did that time go? It was consumed by the scroll. During that time, you weren't truly resting, you weren't learning, and you weren't connecting with people in a meaningful way. You were in a state of passive consumption. This habit is like having a small hole in your wallet. Every time you scroll, a few small coins of your time fall out. One coin doesn't feel like a big loss. But if the coins keep falling out all day, every day, by the end of the month, your wallet is significantly lighter. Your life is significantly shorter. Very similar to the social media trap is the black hole of binge-watching television shows or online series. After a long, tiring day at work or school, sinking into the sofa and watching a show can feel like the perfect way to unwind. And taking a break is absolutely essential. But here's the problem. Modern streaming services are designed with a single goal: to keep you watching for as long as possible. One episode ends on a dramatic cliffhanger, and the next episode starts playing automatically in just 5 seconds. It takes more effort to stop watching than to continue. So, you tell yourself, okay, just one more episode. But that one more episode turns into 2, and then 3. Suddenly, it's past midnight. The hours that you could have used for reading a book, talking with your partner, preparing for the next day, or getting a healthy amount of sleep have been sacrificed. And often, instead of feeling rested, you feel even more tired and groggy the next day, caught in a cycle of passive entertainment that drains your energy rather than restoring it. Another incredibly common and crafty time thief is one we all know well: procrastination. Procrastination is the art of delaying important tasks. It's that little voice in your head that says, "I'll do it later," or "I don't feel like it right now," or "I'll start on Monday." It's important to understand that procrastination is rarely about laziness. More often, it's driven by our emotions. We procrastinate on a task because it makes us feel uncomfortable. Maybe we fear that we will fail. Maybe we fear that we won't do it perfectly. Or maybe the task is so big and complex that we feel overwhelmed just thinking about it. Let's imagine a man named David. David has a dream of starting his own small online business. He knows he needs to build a website, but he's never done it before, and he's afraid he'll do a bad job. This fear creates a feeling of anxiety. To escape this uncomfortable feeling, his brain looks for an easier, more pleasant activity. So, he cleans his apartment, organizes his bookshelf, watches videos about how to be successful. He does everything except the one thing that actually moves him closer to his dream. Days turn into weeks, and weeks turn into months. His dream remains just a dream, not because he is lazy, but because his fear has allowed procrastination to steal the time he needed to build it. Let's talk about another, more subtle time thief: the illusion of busyness. This is a trap that many hardworking people fall into. They are busy all day long, running from one thing to the next. Their schedule is full, but at the end of the week, they feel like they haven't made any real progress on their important goals. This happens when we confuse activity with productivity. Let's consider an office worker named Ben. Ben starts his day by checking his email. He spends an hour reading and replying to messages, most of which are not urgent. Then he goes to a meeting that has no clear agenda and lasts for 2 hours. After the meeting, he spends another hour reorganizing the folders on his computer. He is constantly doing something. He looks and feels very busy, but he's spending his time on low-value tasks. He is not doing the deep work that actually creates value and moves his projects forward. He is caught in the busy trap, working hard but not smart. It's like being in a rocking chair. It gives you something to do, but it doesn't get you anywhere. True productivity is not about how many hours you work. It's about how much value you produce in the hours you work. We also lose a huge amount of time simply because we lack a plan. When you wake up in the morning with no clear idea of what you want to accomplish, your day can easily become a series of random, reactive activities. You drift. You check your email. Then your phone buzzes with a notification, so you check that. A friend calls to chat. You see something interesting online and spend an hour reading about it. By the end of the day, you might feel like you were busy, but what did you actually achieve? You were like a boat without a sail or a rudder, just being pushed around by the winds and currents of the day. Without a direction, it's impossible to make progress towards a destination. A day without a plan is an open invitation for time wasters to come in and take over. Finally, we have the myth of multitasking and the constant problem of distractions. Many people believe that they can do 2 or 3 things at once to save time. For example, they try to write an important email while also listening to a meeting and replying to text messages. But scientific research shows that the human brain is not good at focusing on multiple complex tasks at the same time. What we call multitasking is actually rapid task switching. Every time you switch your attention from the email to the text message and back again, your brain loses a little bit of time and energy trying to refocus. These little moments add up. You end up doing all the tasks more slowly and with more mistakes than if you had just focused on one thing at a time. This is a very silent way to waste time because it feels productive, it feels like you're busy, but in reality, you are just making your brain work inefficiently, like trying to fill 3 glasses with water using only one tap and constantly moving it between them. You'd be much faster filling one glass completely, then the next, and then the third. All of these habits, mindless scrolling, binge-watching, procrastinating, being trapped in busyness, not having a plan, and multitasking, are like leaks in the container that holds your time. If you don't notice them and fix them, your most precious resource will continue to drain away, day after day. The first step to stopping these thieves is awareness. It's about honestly looking at your day and asking, where is my time really going? And once we know the answer, we can start to make conscious choices, which is exactly what we are going to talk about next. Up to this point, we've explored the profound idea that time is wealth. We've understood its incredible value, and we've identified the common thieves that steal it from us. Now, we arrive at the most practical and empowering part of our conversation. How do we actually start using our time wisely? How do we become good managers of this precious resource, just like a financially savvy person manages their money? It's not about complex systems or becoming a robot that works all the time. It's about making simple, conscious choices that align our daily actions with our long-term goals and values. Let's go back to our money analogy. When you receive your monthly income, what's the first thing a responsible person does? They don't just start spending randomly. They create a budget. They sit down and decide, this much will go towards rent, this much for food, this much for transportation, and this much I will put into savings for the future. A budget is a plan that gives every dollar a job. It ensures that your money is used for things that are most important. We can, and we should, do the exact same thing with our time. We can create a time budget. This simply means planning our day or week in advance. You can do this in just 5 minutes every morning or the night before. Take a piece of paper or open a notes app on your phone and ask yourself, what are the most important things I need to accomplish tomorrow? Write down your main tasks. This might include 8 hours for work, 1 hour for commuting, 1 hour for exercising, 30 minutes for learning English, and 2 hours for family time and dinner. The act of creating this simple plan is like giving your hours a job. It brings clarity and intention to your day. A planned day is a proactive day, where you are in control. An unplanned day is a reactive day, where your time is controlled by external events and distractions. Once you have a basic plan, the next step is to set priorities. This is a crucial skill. It means understanding the difference between what is urgent and what is important. Urgent tasks are things that demand your immediate attention. A phone ringing is urgent. A new email notification is urgent. They shout, "Look at me now." Important tasks, on the other hand, are things that contribute to your long-term goals and well-being. Learning a new skill is important. Building a strong relationship is important. Taking care of your health is important. These tasks usually don't shout. They whisper. The trap that many people fall into is spending their entire day responding to urgent things and never getting around to the important things. They are busy putting out small fires all day, but they never get to build the house. A simple way to set your priorities is to use the Eat That Frog method, a concept from the author Brian Tracy. The idea is that if you have to eat a live frog, it's best to do it first thing in the morning. Your frog is your most important and often most difficult task of the day. By completing it first, you ensure that even if the rest of the day gets chaotic, you have already accomplished something significant. For you, maybe your frog is studying English for 30 minutes. If you do it first thing in the morning, you'll feel a sense of achievement that carries you through the rest of the day. To take this a step further, let's talk about the concept of deep work. This idea, from author Cal Newport, refers to the ability to focus without distraction on a cognitively demanding task. It is a state of full immersion where you are using your skills to their absolute limit. In our world of constant notifications and interruptions, the ability to do deep work is becoming increasingly rare and, therefore, increasingly valuable. An hour and a half of focused, deep work on a difficult project can produce a better result than an entire day of working in a distracted state. You should try to schedule these deep work sessions into your time budget. For example, you could block out 90 minutes every morning from 9 a.m. to 10:30 a.m., where you turn off your phone, close your email, and focus on your single most important task. Protecting this time is essential. It's in these focused sessions that real progress and breakthroughs happen. Another very practical technique is to batch similar tasks together. Our brains work more efficiently when we focus on one type of activity at a time. Instead of answering emails as soon as they arrive, which constantly breaks your concentration, you can batch them. For example, decide that you will only check and reply to emails twice a day, perhaps at 11 a.m. and 4 p.m. for 30 minutes each. This frees up long, uninterrupted blocks of time for focused work. You can apply this to many areas of your life. Instead of going to the grocery store 3 times a week, do one big trip. Instead of cooking every single night, you can do meal prep on Sunday, preparing some ingredients or full meals for the week ahead. Batching reduces the mental startup and shutdown costs of switching between different types of tasks, making you far more efficient. Now, let's talk about where to invest our time for the highest return. Just like a smart investor puts their money into assets that will grow over time, we should invest our time into activities that will enrich our lives in the long run. There are 3 main areas that consistently provide the best returns on our time investment: learning, health, and relationships. When you spend time learning, whether it's reading a book, taken an online course, or listening to an educational podcast. You are investing in your mind. The knowledge and skills you gain will open up new opportunities and help you for the rest of your life. This is perhaps the most powerful investment you can make. When you spend time on your health, by exercising, eating nutritious food, and getting enough sleep, you are investing in your body. Good health gives you the energy and vitality to enjoy life and pursue your goals. Without health, no amount of money or success matters. And when you spend quality time with the people you love, your family and friends, you are investing in your heart. Strong, positive relationships are the foundation of a happy and fulfilling life. They provide support, joy, and a sense of belonging. The wonderful thing is, you don't need huge blocks of time to invest in these areas. It's the consistency that counts. A 30-minute walk every day is better than a 3-hour workout once a month. Reading for 15 minutes every night before bed will allow you to finish many books in a year. A 10-minute focused conversation with a loved one each day can strengthen your bond more than a big, expensive vacation once a year. Small, daily deposits into your learning, health, and relationship accounts will compound over time, creating immense wealth in your life. To make this all a bit more concrete, let me share a few simple techniques you can start using right away. First, try the Pomodoro technique. We mentioned it briefly before, but let's be clear on how it works. You choose one task to focus on. You set a timer for 25 minutes. During these 25 minutes, you work on that single task with zero distractions. No phone, no email, no other tabs open. When the timer rings, you put a check mark on a piece of paper and take a short 5-minute break. Stretch, get a glass of water, look out the window. After the break, you start another 25-minute session. After you complete 4 Pomodoros, you take a longer break of 15 to 30 minutes. This technique is incredibly effective because it breaks big tasks into manageable chunks and prevents mental burnout. Second, create a distraction-free environment. If you need to study, don't do it in front of the TV. Put your phone in another room or turn it on silent mode. Small changes to your environment can have a huge impact on your ability to focus. Third, don't forget to schedule rest. A wise financial planner will tell you to spend some money on things you enjoy. Similarly, a wise time manager will tell you to schedule time for fun and relaxation. Using time wisely does not mean being productive every single minute. It means being intentional. Rest is not a waste of time. It is an essential part of the process that allows you to work effectively later. By planning your day, focusing on what's important, investing in your growth, and using simple techniques, you transform time from being your enemy, always running out, to being your greatest ally, helping you build the life you want, one intentional hour at a time. We have now journeyed through the concepts of managing our time, budgeting our hours, and focusing on priorities. Let's take this one final, powerful step further and talk about the idea of time investment and how it generates returns, just like a financial investment. You are likely familiar with the idea of investing money. You put money into a stock, a business, or a savings account not for an immediate reward, but with the expectation that over time it will grow and give you back more than you initially put in. This is the magic of compound interest. Time works in a very similar and arguably more powerful way. A time investment is any activity where you spend your time today not for instant pleasure, but to create a better result for your future self. It requires patience, consistency, and a belief in the process of growth. Let's explore this with a few vivid examples. We've already touched on learning English. Let's really break that down as an investment. Imagine every 30-minute session of listening to this podcast is like depositing a small amount of money into your English Fluency bank account. After the first deposit, your account balance doesn't look much different. After a week, you might feel a tiny bit richer in vocabulary. But what happens if you keep making those daily deposits for an entire year? The effect compounds. Your listening skills improve, which makes it easier to learn new words. As your vocabulary grows, your confidence in speaking increases. After a year or two of consistent investment, you might be able to apply for a job that requires English, opening up a whole new career path. You might be able to travel and connect with people from all over the world. Your initial investment of 30 minutes a day has paid you back with life-changing opportunities. The return is not just a little bit of knowledge, it's a completely new future. Let's think about another area, our health. Imagine a man named Mark who is in his 40s. He feels tired all the time, and his doctor tells him he needs to be more active. Mark decides to invest 30 minutes every morning in a brisk walk before work. The first few days are difficult. He feels sore, and he would rather stay in bed. He sees no immediate results on the weighing scale. This is the point where most people give up on their investment. But Mark persists. After a month, he notices he has a little more energy in the afternoons. After 3 months, he finds that he is sleeping much better at night. After a year, he has lost weight, he feels stronger, and his doctor is very happy with his health. His small daily investment of 30 minutes has paid him dividends in the form of more energy, better sleep, and potentially a longer, healthier life. Can you put a price on that? It is a return far more valuable than any money. This principle of time investment applies to almost any skill you can imagine. Think about learning to cook. You invest some time today watching a recipe video and trying to make a new dish. Maybe the first attempt is not perfect, but you keep trying. After a few months of investing an hour or two each week, you can cook several healthy and delicious meals for yourself and your family. The return? You save money by not eating out, you eat healthier food, and you gain the wonderful skill of being able to share a meal you created with people you care about. Or think about reading. Many of the most successful people in the world are avid readers. They are not reading for immediate entertainment. They are reading to invest in their knowledge. Reading just 10 pages of a non-fiction book each day seems like a tiny action. But over a year, that adds up to 3,650 pages, which is equivalent to about 12 average-sized books. Imagine how much you would learn, how much your perspective would broaden by absorbing the knowledge from 12 books every year. You are investing your time in ideas, and those ideas will give you a return in the form of better decisions, more creativity, and a deeper understanding of the world. So, if time investment is so powerful, why don't more people do it? The primary reason is that we live in a culture that craves instant gratification. We want results now. If we go to the gym once, we want to see a change in the mirror the next day. If we study for 1 hour, we want to be fluent tomorrow. But that's not how meaningful growth works. Time investment is a long-term game. It's about planting a seed. You can't plant an apple seed today and expect to eat an apple tomorrow. You must water the seed, protect it, and give it sunlight day after day. For a long time, it may look like nothing is happening on the surface, but underground, roots are growing deep, and a strong foundation is being built. Then, one day, a small sprout appears. And over the years, with continued care, it grows into a strong tree that provides you with an abundance of fruit for many seasons to come. Your consistent efforts are the water and sunlight. Your patience is the time it takes for the tree to grow. So, from now on, when you are deciding how to spend a spare hour, ask yourself this critical question. Is this a time expense or a time investment? A time expense is an activity that consumes your time and gives you little or nothing in return for your future. Mindlessly scrolling through social media is often a time expense. A time investment is an activity that consumes your time now to create more value, skills, or happiness for you later. Learning, exercising, building relationships, and working on a personal project are all time investments. The beautiful thing is, you are the fund manager of your own time. You get to decide where your wealth goes. By consistently choosing to invest even small amounts of time in your growth, you are powerfully designing your own future. We have journeyed through the philosophy of time as wealth, and now we arrive at the most practical part of our discussion. It's one thing to understand an idea, but it's another thing to live it. So, you might be asking, Alex, this all sounds great, but how do I actually start treating my time like money in my real, busy, everyday life? This is a fantastic question. In this section, I want to share some simple, concrete, and actionable tips that you can begin using today. These are not complicated strategies that require special tools. All they require is a little bit of intention and the willingness to make small, positive changes. The very first and most impactful tip is to conduct a time audit. Just as a financial advisor would first ask to see your bank statements to understand where your money is going, you first need to understand where your time is going. For just 1 or 2 days, try to track your time. You can use a simple notebook and a pen. Every hour or so, just write down what you did in the previous hour. Be honest with yourself. There's no judgment here. For example, your log might look like this: 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. Got ready, checked social media. 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. Worked on a project, but was distracted by emails. 1 p.m. to 2 p.m. Had lunch while watching videos. At the end of the day, review your log. You will probably be surprised. You might discover that you spent 2 hours on social media when you thought it was only 30 minutes. You might see that small interruptions stole a huge chunk of your focus time at work. This awareness is the essential first step. You cannot manage what you do not measure. A time audit gives you the real data about your time-spending habits, which allows you to see where the leaks are and where you can make changes. The second powerful tip is to learn the art of saying no. Every single day, we are presented with requests for our time. Friends might ask us to go out when we had planned to study. Colleagues might ask for help on a task that isn't our responsibility. Social media notifications beg for our attention. Each time you say yes to one of these things, you are implicitly saying no to something else. If you say yes to watching another episode of a TV show, You might be saying no to getting enough sleep. If you say yes to a social event that you don't really want to attend, you might be saying no to the quiet evening you needed to recharge. Learning to say no is not about being selfish or unkind. It's about protecting your most valuable resource. You can say no politely. For example, if a friend asks you to hang out, you could say, "I'd love to, but I've dedicated tonight to my English studies. How about we plan something for the weekend?" This shows that you value the person, but you also value your time and your commitments. Protecting your time is a sign of self-respect. Our third practical tip is to embrace the power of a planner. This doesn't have to be a fancy, expensive diary. A simple notebook or a digital calendar works perfectly. At the start of each week, take 15 minutes to look ahead. What are your big goals for the week? What are your important appointments? Then, each morning, take just 5 minutes to plan your day. The most effective way to do this is to identify your top 3 tasks for the day. Ask yourself, if I only get 3 things done today, what are the things that will make the biggest impact? Write them down. This simple act of choosing your priorities prevents you from getting lost in the busyness of the day. As you complete each task, physically tick it off your list. This provides a small but satisfying sense of accomplishment and motivates you to keep going. Your planner becomes your roadmap for the day, keeping you focused on the destination instead of getting lost on side roads. A fourth tip, which works hand in hand with planning, is to consciously design your environment for success. We are heavily influenced by our surroundings. You can use this to your advantage by making good habits easier and bad habits harder. For example, if you want to drink more water, keep a full bottle of water on your desk at all times. If you want to use your phone less, create a charging station for it in another room, so it's not the first thing you see in the morning and the last thing you see at night. If you want to practice English, leave your study book open on the kitchen table where you will see it. This is called choice architecture. You are making the right choice, the easiest choice. It takes the pressure off of your willpower and makes good habits more automatic. Fifth, make it a habit to review your day. This is like balancing your checkbook at the end of the day. Before you go to sleep, take 3 minutes to reflect. Ask yourself a few simple questions. What went well today? What did I accomplish? Where did I waste time? What could I do a little differently tomorrow? Again, this is not about criticizing yourself. It's about gentle learning and continuous improvement. Maybe you realize that you feel most energetic in the morning. So tomorrow, you can plan to do your most important task then. Maybe you notice that you get distracted by your phone after 3 p.m. So tomorrow, you can decide to put your phone away during that time. This daily feedback loop is incredibly powerful. Small, consistent adjustments over time lead to a massive improvement in how you manage your life. Finally, a very important tip: be kind to yourself. The goal of managing your time is not to become a perfect, hyper-productive machine. The goal is to live a more intentional, fulfilling, and less stressful life. There will be days when you are not productive. There will be days when you waste time. That is perfectly okay. You are a human being, not a robot. When you have an off day, don't beat yourself up. Just acknowledge it and aim to have a slightly better day tomorrow. Progress is what matters, not perfection. Time management is a skill, and like any skill, it takes practice. Be patient, be consistent, and celebrate your small wins along the way. By implementing these tips, auditing your time, saying no, using a planner, designing your environment, reviewing your day, and being kind to yourself, you move from being a passive passenger in your life to being the active driver, holding the steering wheel and consciously choosing your direction. We have now come to the end of our journey together in this episode. We have talked about many ideas, about time being a form of wealth, about its precious and limited nature, about the sneaky ways we waste it, and about the practical steps we can take to manage it with wisdom and intention. As we prepare to part ways, I want to leave you with one final thought, a simple but deeply profound truth to carry with you. Your time is your life. Let that sink in for a moment. It is not just a catchy phrase, it is a literal truth. Your life is not an abstract concept that will happen someday in the future. Your life is happening right now, in this very moment. It is made up of the seconds, the minutes, and the hours that are ticking by. Every hour that passes is not just an hour gone. It is a piece of your life that has been spent. The story of your life is not written in years. It is written in days, lived one at a time. When you choose how to spend an hour, you are literally choosing how to spend a piece of your life. When you waste an hour, you are tearing a page out of your own life story, a page that can never be written again. Thinking of it this way changes everything, doesn't it? It elevates the importance of every single choice we make. The choice to scroll on our phone versus reading a book is not just a choice between two activities. It's a choice about what kind of life story we want to write. The choice to hit the snooze button versus getting up to go for a walk is a choice about the kind of character we want to be in our own story. You are the author of your life, and time is the ink you use to write it. Are you using your ink to write a story of growth, learning, love, and purpose? Or are you letting the ink spill, leaving blank pages and messy smudges? Please, do not misunderstand this as a message to be constantly busy, to work non-stop, or to fill every single second with a productive task. That is not a life of wealth. That is a life of burnout. True wealth of time includes moments of quiet, periods of rest, and hours spent simply being with the people you love or enjoying a beautiful sunset. These are not wasted moments. These are some of the most valuable investments we can make. The key word is choice. It's about being conscious and intentional. It's about choosing to rest because your body needs it, not because you drifted into 3 hours of television without realizing it. It's about choosing to spend time with family, being fully present, not sitting in the same room while everyone is lost in their own phones. When you start to truly respect your time, you will notice a beautiful shift in your life. You will feel a new sense of control and empowerment. Instead of feeling like you are always rushing and falling behind, you will feel a sense of calm purpose. You will start to see tangible progress towards your goals, whether it's improving your English, getting healthier, or learning a new skill. You will build deeper connections with the people around you. And most importantly, you will feel a deep sense of satisfaction at the end of the day, knowing that you have used your life, your precious, irreplaceable time, in a way that truly matters to you. I want to leave you with one final image. Think of time as a great, flowing river. This river represents your life, flowing from the past, through the present, and into the future. It never stops. Many people live their lives standing on the riverbank, just watching the water, watching their time flow by. They are passive observers of their own lives. But you have another choice. You can decide to build a boat. Your plans are the design of the boat. Your skills and knowledge are the wood and the tools. Your consistent effort is the act of building it. Once your boat is built, you can put it in the river. You can pick up a paddle, which represents your daily choices, and you can start to steer. You can't stop the river from flowing, but you can choose your direction. You can navigate towards your dreams, your goals, your ideal destination. The river of time will continue to flow no matter what, but by being an active participant, you get to decide where it takes you. Thank you so very much for choosing to invest this piece of your time with me today. It truly means the world to me that you tuned in to this episode of English in Fluency. I hope that our conversation about time has given you some valuable food for thought, not just for your English practice, but for your life as a whole. Before we say goodbye, I'd like to invite you to take just one moment. Think about one small change you can make, starting today, to honor the value of your time. Just one thing. Maybe it's deciding to put your phone away during dinner with your family. Maybe it's committing to just 10 minutes of English listening every single day. Or maybe it's scheduling a short walk into your afternoon. Whatever it is, no matter how small it seems, this one conscious decision is the first step on a new path. It's a declaration that you are taking charge of your time, and therefore taking charge of your life. If you feel comfortable, I would love for you to share your commitment in the comments section below this video. For example, you could write, "This week, the one weed I will pull from my time garden is scrolling on my phone before bed." By sharing, you not only strengthen your own commitment, but you might just inspire someone else in our community to do the same. I truly hope this episode has inspired you and given you the motivation to see your time as the treasure it is. You hold this incredible power in your hands every single day. The power to shape your future, 1 hour at a time. I also want to warmly invite you to continue this journey with me by listening to our other episodes of English in Fluency. We explore many more interesting topics designed to help you improve your English in an enjoyable and meaningful way. If you found this episode helpful, please consider sharing it with a friend or a family member who is also on their English learning journey. The ideas we discussed today are universal, and sharing them is a wonderful way to help someone you care about. Thank you once again for your time and your attention. I look forward to speaking with you again very soon in our next episode. Until then, please take wonderful care of yourself and of your precious time. Goodbye for now, and remember, every single minute counts.